who helped to prepare for tonight's quarterly meeting and will join us later. And we have some great community reports coming up. But it seems like we might have the time if we just want to go around and introduce who we are and our connection to the Skyway-West Hill community. And then we'll get started on community reports. So I'll just go in the order of my Zoom screen. Cynthia, would you mind introducing yourself?
We're live.
Happy to, Finn. My name is Cynthia Lamoth, and I'm the general manager of your Skyway Water and Sewer District. I've just been here a little over 9 years, and I live in the community and have long connections here, and happy to see everybody tonight.
Thank you, Cynthia. Moving along to Chief Hicks.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eric Hicks. I am your fire chief for the Skyway Fire Department. I'm coming up on 5 years as your fire chief. Grew up in Skyway, rolling my bike around the main streets of Skyway. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. All right, the Sidwells.
Kathleen and Jerry Sidwell. I'm here to represent the Friends of Skyway Library, and we've been in this area now 46 years, almost 47 in this house, and I was here 10 years before that.
Wonderful, thank you so much. Let's see, Mark from the King County Sheriff Office. I'm sorry, I don't know your title.
Hi, for the last 2 days, I've been your new precinct commander for the Southwest or Precinct 4 for the Sheriff's Office, which also covers the West Hill. So with only two days, I'm doing my best to get caught up, and I'm gonna hopefully learn what's going on from you all tonight.
Great, thank you. Let's move on to one of our board members, Beth.
Hi, everyone. My name is Beth Hintz. I am a Skyway resident and a board member since 2019. And I'm happy to be here. Thanks, Ben.
Yeah, great. Moving on to Tina from LISC.
Hi, I'm Tina Velocity. I'm a senior program officer with a local initiative support corporation, and we're a national nonprofit economic development organization. And we are doing some inclusive economic development planning in Skyway. So I'm really grateful to be able to be here and hear more about what's happening in Skyway.
Thank you. Moving along to Bong, would you introduce yourself?
Hi, good evening. I'm Bong Santo Domingo with the Department of Local Services, King County.
Great, thank you, Bong. And Valerie?
Hi, everybody. Valerie Kendall with King County Department of Community and Human Services. Happy to be here.
Great. Carolyn Sofer, would you mind introducing yourself?
Hi, I am Carolyn Sofer, Executive Director of New Birth Center for Community Inclusion, also the pastor's wife of New Birth Ministries Church. That's right across the driveway from the King County Sheriff's Office. And we have been in the area since 1999.
Thank you for sharing. Jamie, another board member, would you mind introducing yourself?
Sure, my name is Jamie Jackson. I'm a board member as well as a core team member of the Urban Food Systems PAT, where we are doing a weekly food distribution in the Skyway community in conjunction with Mother Silver Church. I just wanted to kind of preference that our partnership in one. I hate to come to the table and not acknowledge everyone that's playing a part in the work that we do for the community. And I'm also a 11-year Skyway resident. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. Khadija, are you available to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Khadija Jackson. I'm the Community Transportation Coordinator for our Skyway Community Van Program. Thank you.
Thank you. Margie, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, yes, Margie Lindberg, former board member, and I'm here tonight representing the VFW post. So when we get to community reports, I have a few things that I'd like to add.
All right, thanks, Margie. Moving along to Randy Matheson.
Hi, I'm Randy Matheson, Executive Director, Community Relations in the Renton School District.
Thank you, Randy. Nice to have you with us. April, would you like to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Hello, April Deschamps. I am with the Washington Department of Transportation. I am a planning manager, and we're currently doing work and understanding efforts on State Route 900.
Thank you. Sunny, if you're available, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm Sunny Park, Development Manager with King County Housing Authority, and I'm working on Skyway Resource Center, partnering with few Skyway organizations.
Wonderful. And Miss Ayana Brown, last but not least.
Hello, everybody.
Good evening. We'll get an update from you a little bit later on. So thank you for introducing yourself. All right, so this evening we have several community reports. We don't have any main presentation to take up the bulk of the time. So each of the community reports will last about 3 to 5 minutes. And it's great to see so many people present here on Zoom, and there'll be more people tuning in on Facebook or watching the recording later. We encourage you to post comments or questions in the chat box. Or if there is time during the community report, then the person presenting can ask if there are any questions and take the time to answer. And so we really do appreciate you being here this evening. And if we happen to finish before 8:30, we would love to let you enjoy that time, perhaps before the sun finally sets this evening. So to start it off, let's see, could we start with King County Local Services?
Sure. Let's see. Well, there's a few things that's going on, but there's not a whole lot to report yet because nothing is down to paper or finalized. I know some of you guys are probably asking, when is the Skyway Park happening? They'll be happening soon. I think at one point there was issues with concrete. I think they're actually breaking ground sometime in May when the weather is nice. So, but then again, it may be moved to June. Okay, so I'm just letting you know that. I think our biggest thing for the Skyway, for the West Hill community, is we are going back to work. So we are reopening our offices down there. I myself will be there on Wednesdays, and Kadisha will be there on Monday and Wednesday too. But other staff might come out there too, like staff from permitting as well as our other staff from DLS. So it's going to be at the library, and we're planning on opening sometime in May. You know, I want to say the first week of May, but it's happening. So that's going to be. There's a question. Is there an update on the pothole repairs in the Skyway area? You know, I can bring that up. Was there a particular intersection or actual area, like an address
And
we're talking about?
what I can do is get that information to you. I had to do some home visits and just got off on some streets that I had never really been down before. And it was absolutely horrendous. But I know that some of the major streets, I do see that there's been some work done on those. And I know that they can't hit every pothole, you know, because of the cost or what have you. But it's, I can see where it's tearing people's cars out. So it's definitely something that needs to be visible.
I'm gonna type my information here on the chat.
Okay.
And that way you can email me.
Thank
if it's
you.
in unincorporated King County, you know, our roads department will look into that. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Is there any other questions? And I'm gonna have Kadisha, who's also part of DLS, to give her ask for you guys. All right, Kadisha.
Hello, everyone. My report out here for Community Van was going to share that last month in March, we did have 2 trips. One went to the airport to drop off residents, and another one went to drop off a resident at the eye doctors. We do have a new volunteer. It's not, I should say, onboarding volunteer. It's not approved yet, but the application is being worked on. And we also have an upcoming trip that we already have a driver available for the Skyway Resource Center this Friday. So I have shared or trying to post out on social media and shared with RISP that there's a driver available for residents. And lastly, we are looking for a volunteer driver for the Olajuwon's Hands Community Family Reunion, which is on April 29th. And so if you know anyone that is interested in volunteering, I can list my contact information in that chat, and you can have them reach out to me. And that was my report out. Thank you.
Thank you, Khadija. Bong, is there anything more to add for local services?
No, but just to piggyback on what Kadisha said, I mean, we're heavily trying to outreach to the community and try and get these volunteer drivers. The program success, I mean, pretty much is on the volunteer drivers, and as much as you know, we people may request rides, but if we can't get the drivers, that ride is not going to happen. So any help you guys can do, please send it our way. Send it to Kadisha. Yes, go ahead, Finn.
Did you just want to make a distinction for those that are on the call or tuning in later between this community van and how it differs from the other transportation vans that are available in the neighborhood?
Sure. And Kadisha, feel free to jump in. The community van is an added bonus as far as alternative transportations in the West Hill community, in that area. Okay, the difference between that, I think we have Via, and also what's the other one? Access. 2 different things. I mean, the community van, you can pretty much go all over. Via is not. It's like a bus. It's like a, you know, it's from one point to another point. That's it. And there's the difference. If you're talking about drivers per se, yes, they are paid metro drivers running those 2 other programs. Okay.
Thank you. Yes, so this is volunteer drivers that can really go anywhere, and it can leave the local area. It can be trips as far as Mount Rainier or something. I think I remember you mentioning.
Yes, you can go up to.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Kadisha, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to add, yes, you can go up to 2 hours out from your location using community van, and it is for Skyway residents. So the pickup location does need to be in Skyway, and Via kind of runs throughout Skyway. It takes the residents to the South Rainier Beach hub, and then also to the Renton hub, and then they can connect to other Via routes or on public transportation. I was just adding that. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I saw a question on the chat. Question from Neri on Facebook. Do volunteer drivers need to provide? No, you don't, because you will be driving an actual community van vehicle. That's with the Metro logo and all the community van logo on the vehicle. That's what you'll be driving. You will need to go through a process of getting certified as a driver. Okay, you can't just say, yep, I want to volunteer. However, if you do volunteer and let's say you do get certified as a driver, you can be specific or a specialized driver. Let's say you work for the food bank, or you work for or you volunteer for the senior center. You just want to drive the seniors around. That's fine too. You don't have to say, yes, I'll drive everybody around. You can be you can just be specific. You know, you could tailor make it to your program if you're involved in a program.
And then there's one follow-up question. What are the times that this program is available?
Khadijah will answer that. Khadijah,
Okay.
Anytime that there's a volunteer driver available.
there you go.
Okay, we've got another question that just came in, and then we'll move on to the next report. Anthony on Facebook. So do they go to more locations other than bus stops in the service area?
Yeah, so that's the difference between VIA and community van. Those that ride VIA and request VIA pick them up, you would have to walk from your house to a location on the corner, and VIA picks you up and only takes you to a connecting transportation location like the transit center or like the Link Light Rail Station. But with using community van, you request a ride by calling me or emailing. And if there's a volunteer driver available, you can go maybe to the Seattle Seahawks game on a specific day and time and have the van down there the entire time and then return it when finished. And I can list my contact information down below, and then I can have conversations offline with anyone else.
That's great.
Thank you.
All right. We just bought tickets to the Mariners. Maybe we will use the
There
community
you
van.
go.
Okay. Thank you for that, Bong and Khadijah. And we will move on to Cynthia with Skyway Water Sewer.
So I looked back a year ago to the April meeting and thought I'd give an update in comparison to where we were last year and where we are this year. So last year when I reported to the community, our lobby was closed. We were maintaining service, but you had to make an appointment for a lot of things. Well, fast forward a year, our lobby is open. Masks are still required, but if you don't have one, they're available in the lobby. A year ago, we were not disconnecting any service. We weren't charging late fees. We weren't liening properties if their bill wasn't paid. Unfortunately, now we're past that. And we are currently disconnecting service for non-payment. We are charging late fees for payments that are not made. And depending on how high an unpaid bill gets, we would lien the property. That said, we have advocated really strongly for utility financial assistance. So there is a long list of agencies on our website, or you can call our office and we'll mail a copy of the list to customers. We are working with the state. There is $100 million that's been advocated for assistance. The district understands that there's $25 million for water and sewer, and we plan to sign up in May and be part of that program to get utility assistance to our customers. So this applies to what I just said and going forward. The only thing that pays for our service in the community for water and sewer is customer rates. That includes myself, your commissioners, all the people that live in this area. There's no property tax dollars that pays for service. There's no free money that pays for service. It's the monthly payments that customers like ourselves make. So last year for 2021, the Board of Commissioners decided to not raise rates. Things were just so horrible. The unemployment rate was up to 15%, and they made the difficult decision, and it is difficult because every time we don't keep pace with inflation or other increased costs, that's good for 1 year in the immediate, but it has really long-term impacts for replacing water and sewer mains 10 years from now, 40 years from now, 80 years from now. After a lot of deliberation this year, the Board of Commissioners did decide to raise rates. That'll show up in the newsletter with the May bills. I'm happy to give more details tonight if people have questions, or I'll put my contact information in the chat and you're welcome to contact me for details. The good news is we are putting that money to work for the community. Right now, we have a project to replace almost 6,000 lineal feet of old asbestos cement pipe in the Bryn Mawr area. That project's moving along really well, and we expect that to be complete by June. That's my report for now, and I'm happy to entertain any questions.
Thank you, Cynthia. It's interesting to compare back to April of 2021. Just checking in if there are any questions here on the Zoom call or from Facebook. Okay, we can always circle back if any come in. All right, Chief Hicks, would you mind sharing an update with us, please?
Sure. Good evening, everyone. I apologize, I missed the last meeting, but I didn't get a chance to thank the community in person for passing the levy lit lift last November. That money's been put to work immediately. We have our ACAR responding more during the day. So that's pretty exciting, hitting those back-to-back calls. Once in a while, you may see Renton or Tukwila units in our area. And when that happens, that usually means that there's another call going on and we're not available. Either our engine and ACAR on a call, or we don't have an ACAR that day because our ACAR is about 3/4 time right now. And they have to come back us up. They always back us up during fires. So again, I want to thank the community for passing that levy last year. You may see some pictures on Facebook, or you may see our members training down at the water down in Lake Washington. We now have 5 rescue swimmers, one on each shift ready to respond. Kind of little feedback or a little background on how that operates. Before we had these rescue swimmers, if someone was in distress, either down in the Duwamish River or on Lake Washington, if we arrived first, we could not jump in the water to perform a rescue. Today we can. We would have to wait for Renton or Tukwila units to arrive on scene for their rescue swimmers to actually jump in the water. But now we can jump in the water right away with our rescue swimmer on board on our units. These rescue swimmers were certified last summer. They are certified to swim at least 100 yards offshore, and they can dive down 40 feet. So those are the tests they had to perform down at Kulan Beach in order to be a rescue swimmer. So that's pretty exciting for us. First time in Skyway Fire Department history to have a rescue swimmer team. Good job to the community. Our last house fire was last November. So now we're 4 months into the new year. So keep it up, keep fire safety. We ended the year with a 13% increase in call volume from last year. So our call volume is on the rise. On March 13th, our firefighters participated in the Columbia Tower Climb. They raised $8,000 for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So good job to them. That's 69 floors, 1,356 steps. 2,000 firefighters from around the US and around the world participated in that. If you pass by our drill field lately, you see a lot of activity going on. We do have a volunteer firefighter class going on right now, and we are hosting East Side Fire and Rescue because they are part of our training consortium out here in South King County, and they are also holding an academy. Right now with a lot of hiring going on, a lot of firefighters have retired or quit. And so there's a lot of hiring going on, and so there wasn't a lot of academy space. So we were asked if we would help out and host the academy on our training grounds. They'll be there until June, and it's possible that we may need to host them again based on the academy space in South King County. Our health and safety fair is coming back this year. It should be the 3rd or 4th week of August. We're excited to bring that back. So for the community partners here on the line, you'll probably see an email from me asking me if you're going to participate this year. Excited about that. And we continue our community partnerships with Skyway, VFW, the RIS, West Hill Community Association, Wise One's Hand Foundation, King County Sheriff, and King County Local Services. And that is the end of my report. I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Chief Hicks. We will monitor for questions and circle back if we have any here from folks on Zoom. Okay, thank you very much for that report. And let's see, moving along to King County Sheriff's Office for their community report.
So I don't see Josh or Manny here. This is my first attendance of this meeting. First off, Chief Hicks, thanks for the great partnership with the Sheriff's Office. We're always mingling around with our local fire. And as a side note, my oldest son is taking his first fire exam to see how he can access becoming a career firefighter. So that's pretty cool. Like I said, I'm brand new at the precinct in the command that covers law enforcement for West Hill. And I'm not entirely up to speed on anything that's happening, but I will be, I promise you. I want to open it up if anyone has any questions about myself, my background, or anything like that, and then I'll cover a couple other items.
Well, Mark, welcome to our community. And how should we address you?
My rank title is major, but I prefer Mark. That's
okay,
right? So, all right. The only tidbit I'll give you, the assignment, let me back up. Been in police work for about 31 years on the West Coast, about 28 with King County. Wide variety of assignments leading me to this point. And I'm happy because I've worked at this precinct before as a sergeant close to 13 years ago, I believe it was. So now I'm back. And I'm happy to be so. This is a great community. One of my previous assignments was I was a captain in charge of our major investigations section. So all the specialty investigative units. And one of them in particular has a really interesting project that everyone here I think can benefit from. And I had the crime analysis unit. And what they're coming up with is publicly accessible on one of the county web pages. It's not quite there yet. They're beta testing, but it's a data hub or portal, almost like a dashboard for real up-to-date crime information. You can customize it for what area or what types of crimes or anything like that. So if you want to have a snapshot of statistical data combined with calls for service as well as reports, you can go right there and see what's happening in your neighborhood, what police have been out on. And then on the flip side, to make our officers more effective, they'll also have a web-based customizable dashboard that they can have in their car, on their computer. And if they're assigned a particular area, they can see what crime trends are, not just now or recently, but over time, and look for patterns, and then figure out the best ways to interdict that. Because the number one thing we'd like to do is just prevent crime from even happening first. So that helps us a little bit. But this is a project that's been long in the making, and it should be coming along in the public domain and with our deputies probably by summer. Again, they're beta testing right now. So that's something that I think will be very helpful for everyone.
Thank you very much. If anyone has any questions for Mark or the King County Sheriff's Office, feel free to drop those in the chat. I just wanted to circle back and maybe Chief Hicks could just share that how to receive info about the Health and Safety Fair in August. I think he's either dropping a message in the chat or can help address that in a moment. And we do actually have a question for Mark from Neri on Facebook. Are you investigating the mailbox thefts that have been cropping up in Lake Ridge?
So that's something I can look into. I can look, the first thing is that we need people, if we're not actively running into folks doing this, we need people to report it. So I can check in to see if officers have been called and what's going on with them. I can definitely get back to you.
Thank you. All right. All right, so Mark, if you wouldn't mind dropping your contact information into the chat box, then we'll make sure that that gets distributed for folks to connect with you.
Sounds good.
Great. All right.
And then there's a question about what's the potential August weekends again for the Health and Safety Fair. Can you repeat that, please?
Yes, it'll be the 3rd or 4th Saturday in August.
Great. And just to read out for those not seeing the chat, anyone interested in being a vendor at the Health and Safety Fair can send information to Chief Hicks, and his email address ehicks@kcfd20.org. That's great. And is that also who the email we should use to reach out if folks want more information about the Health and Safety Fair?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving along to Renton School District, Randy Maxson.
Hey there. Thanks for giving me a few minutes tonight. We are quickly getting back to normal in the Renton School District, as normal as we can get. Students are doing great work. We're in testing season right now. We continue to watch for COVID related symptoms amongst students, and we have COVID vaccination clinics for kids 5 and older and adult booster shots going on now through the end of the month at 6 of our elementary schools. But we're really working to transition back into some kind of normalcy. So there's a lot of activities going on. Renton High School, which is of course the high school that services West Hill and Skyway area. They have a really great play. Students have been working really hard to put on this play. They're presenting Clue at the Renton IKEA Performing Arts Center at Renton High. It's this weekend, Thursday through Saturday. So if you're looking for some entertainment, there's several shows that you can take in through the weekend. And again, these kids have been working really hard, and they're just fantastic. And it's a fun play to watch. So consider going to that. Anybody's welcome. You don't have to be in the district or have kids in the district. You can just show up, tickets at the door. And so again, that's at Renton High School. Also at Renton High, we're working to plan our summer work, our summer construction work for Renton High. We have increased science graduation requirements for our high school students. So at all of our high schools throughout the district, we have been improving science classrooms. And this summer, and we try to get that work done in the summer, of course, so it's not disruptive to the school day. So we've got a lot of work to do at our high schools this summer as we reconfigure those classrooms and do some other work inside schools. There's also work planned at Hazen and Lindbergh High, but for Renton High, the science classrooms and some other work in some of their interior work is planned for this summer. That's all work that was approved by voters in 2019 for in our school construction measure that voters approved. So thank you, voters. Lake Ridge Elementary School, staying on the West Hill, is getting a lot of attention for their work with an organization called Sound Discipline. Sound Discipline is an organization that helps teach teachers, students, and certificated and support staff how to better regulate themselves in school, how to manage their emotions, how to react to other people. So social emotional work is what we're doing in a lot of schools, and Lake Ridge Elementary School is getting a lot of attention for their work. Part of that program also is to teach 5th graders how to be sort of mini teachers for 1st graders. So we've got 5th graders learning how to go into 1st grade classes and help teach 1st graders. They read to them, they help them understand books and phonics and those kinds of things. And it really works well for both grade levels because it provides just a great opportunity for leadership on the part of the 5th graders and for 1st graders to see that other kids just a little bit older than they are so just impacted by reading is powerful for classroom instruction. So Lake Ridge is getting a lot of great attention for that. Dimmitt Middle School just this week, yesterday actually, was one of the few schools in the region that was visited by the National Hockey League's National Hockey League's Black History Touring Museum. So they have a touring bus that has lots of great activities and history in it. That was put together by Seattle Kraken, who of course is working with King County Parks to improve Skyway Park coming up soon. That was mentioned earlier tonight. But at Dimmitt, they got a chance to see this touring bus museum, got a chance to go in and ask questions and see that there were Black players in the National Hockey League. There are now, and that there's Black history all around us. And so it was another great opportunity to connect students to history, sports, the local sports team, and so much more. So we've got a lot of stuff going on. Again, we're in testing season. I mentioned that at most grade levels, 3rd through 10 are taking state tests. At Renton High School, which is where our International Baccalaureate program is hosted, the only program in our district that is for high school students. It's a high-level program for students to engage themselves sort of in college-level work. They're going through their IB testing right now. Very important to them because they get those grades, and some of those grades actually allow them to get college credits at high school. So the work at high school is at such a level that colleges recognize that work and provide these students with college credits just as they're coming in as freshmen. So lots of great activities happening in our schools. That's the report. I don't have access to chat. So if there's any questions, if you'd let me know, that'd be great.
Absolutely. Right now, no questions, just some words of affirmation that things are really great going on in the Renton School District.
Yeah,
Lakeridge Elementary is my...
Read those affirmations to me. Let me know.
Yeah, we had some
Tell me
nice...
they're out there.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Okay,
And great, yeah, so thank you also for sharing about the performing arts, the production of Clue happening at the Renton IKEA Center. And we'll see if we can also get that posted onto our website or Facebook page so that West Hill can help to promote that. We appreciate that. Okay. I'll circle back if anything comes in. Thank you, Randy. All right, so moving into some other community reports. Valerie, would you mind sharing anti-displacement next steps?
Yeah, I was the project manager for the Skyway-West Hill and North Highline anti-displacement strategies report. I'm going to try to drop a link in the chat for where that report is posted online. And one of the things that we did, essentially, we spent a couple of years, we did a lot of community engagement, community meetings. We had some community facilitators from both communities. And we came out recommending 10 anti-displacement strategies. In addition, we wanted to also talk about metrics where we could evaluate the work that's been done. This is kind of taking place with some associated work. I think you're aware that there was a $5 million RFP put out for organizations to bring in proposals for affordable housing projects in Skyway. Just recently, in North Highline, the White Center Hub received an award of $9 million from King County to do some affordable housing, community-based development, community-led, community-owned affordable housing. One of the strategies that we recommended that the executive put forth and council accepted was adopting a community preference program for new affordable housing projects. And what that simply means is a certain percentage of the units would be set aside for people with a connection to Skyway or in the Highline community, North Highline. But we didn't define exactly what connection to community means. And when we were doing this report, we dove into it a little bit, but we really couldn't get deep enough. And so we set it aside and said, we'll circle back. And so that time is here. So we're going to stand up a small working group to look into what we are going to, or what you are going to define connection to community as being. And there's some ideas I think that are fairly obvious, like somebody lives in Skyway right now, but there's some others that are a little more subtle. We really need some guidance from the community on that, like past connection to community, or a grandparent who lived in the community, went to school in the community. So we just need some work with the community on how to define that, because it really might determine whether somebody gets a priority ranking in terms of an affordable housing unit. And this would apply to affordable home ownership and affordable rentals. So that work's going to start in May. We'll have 2 community-wide meetings sometime in June. And it's kind of a short timeline because it's very specific targets or topics on that. Any questions?
Thank you. The one thing I'm noticing is what you dropped into the chat is not a link. So if there's a web address that you'd want to try pasting.
Let me try again. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I see a hand up, Cynthia.
Yes, I'd be interested in speaking with you, Valerie, if you're familiar with the Department of Commerce CHIPS program that provides funding for infrastructure that's built to support affordable housing.
Sure.
So typically from a water sewer district perspective, our policy is not to make current customers pay for extension or expansion of the water or sewer system. Any new development that takes place pays for that. But of course, with affordable housing, that's typically a challenge. So the state has money available to support that partnership between an affordable housing project and a water sewer utility. And I believe another round of applications is coming up, and one of our local sewer districts was successful in partnering on a project like that. So my information's in the chat. I would hope you'd reach out to us.
I will. And I do have I'll follow up with some questions on that because, you know, we worked recently with our wastewater division around sewer capacity fee reduction and waivers for affordable housing units to make sure we reduce that barrier. But I think extending the actual sewer is a slightly different topic, I think. So that would be awesome if we could pair that up.
Great, thank you.
I don't see any other hands, so I'm going to get that link dropped in. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that report,
Mhm.
Valerie.
Mhm.
And I'm glad we could help to facilitate that connection with Cynthia and the water sewer. All right, so next up, Tina with LISC.
Hey, everybody. So I don't know, maybe some of you have heard me talk a little bit at other meetings about LISC and the work that we're doing in Skyway. So we have a partnership with Kaiser Permanente. They have made a national grant to our organization, and we are working in 6 cities across the country to do inclusive economic development work. Obviously, there's been a lot of work already done in Skyway, so we are not starting from ground zero. We're starting from a place of a lot of community engagement and a lot of great ideas. And so our work is to really take all of the different plans that already exist and pull them together and kind of be able to look at the various themes to be able to flesh out any demographic information that's needed so that at the end we have an economic development agenda that is a funder facing document so that we can use it to leverage other funding. We have about $125,000 of funding dedicated to invest in seed projects in Skyway. So I hope to work with this group and the Urban Food Pact and the Skyway Coalition to be able to look at what some of the priority projects are that are aligned with economic development outcomes that we're looking for with this money with Kaiser. So we're still at the pretty early stages of that. I'm just starting to get to go to meetings and get to know some of you all. So definitely hope to be a stronger presence here. If other folks have thoughts or questions or things they want to talk to me about offline, also happy to set up separate meetings if that makes sense.
Thank you. Tina, would you just mind saying what does LISC stand for?
It's the Local Initiative Support Corporation. And for those of you who don't know our organization, we are a national nonprofit started in the 1980s by the Ford Foundation. We really have our root in affordable housing finance. We're a community development financial institution, but over the last probably decade or so, we've really expanded into doing like all different kinds of economic and community development, including public safety and creative placemaking and small business support, family wealth building. So there's a lot of different programs that we have across the country that we are looking to expand into the Puget Sound region. We're working in Snohomish, King and Pierce counties. Right now we have a really small but mighty team of 2. We have been running programs in Washington State for a long time. But for about the last decade, those programs have been run out of California and we haven't had staff on the ground here. So our office is kind of newly re-emerging as of July of last year. And again, happy to talk more in detail about some of our other projects. This one project that I'm talking about for Skyway is just one of several things that we're working on.
Great, thank you. All right. We'll monitor the chat to see if anything comes in and let you know, but we appreciate the report. All right, moving along to Olajuwon's hand. Miss Diana Brown, are you available?
I am. Hello, everybody. How's everyone? So April 29th is the 12th annual community family reunion. And we will do, since COVID is still on the forefront, we will do like did last year. And there will be a vaccine clinic mixed in there with that. And then there'll just be another whole other variety of available resources. And this ranges everything from WIC to car seat safety information, window safety information. This will take place at the grocery outlet from 12 until 7. And then we are also going to try to, well, we're not going to try to, we are going to reincorporate some of our previous happenings of it being a celebration. So there will be music, there will be food. We're bringing back our raffle, our raffles and raffle prizes, and there'll be a DJ there, and at 6:01 we will be having our moment of silence. For those of you who don't know, that is 6:01 is the time of Olajuwon's collapse, and so we always have a moment of silence at that time, just to reverence him. There is no charge. Also, there'll be a lot of other swag giveaways. Olajuwon's Hands is also during this event. We'll also be giving away coats, brand new coats for kids. And so I know winter is supposed to be over, but as we've seen with with our weather here lately, we're still having some cold spells. But even if it's not for right now, get the coats a size larger, and maybe the kids would have grown into them by the time winter 22 rolls around. So brand new coat giveaway for kids. That's a first come first serve while supplies last. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you. I look forward to attending that event at the end of April. Okay, so if there are any questions for Ms. Ayanna Brown, either about the event or Olajuwon's Hand, we can take those in the chat and we'll let you know if they pop in. And now moving along to Friends of Skyway Library, Kathleen Sidwell. Did she step away for a moment? Okay, I think you're on mute. I will return back to that once I see Kathleen in the screen. Okay. Let's go to Margie with a report from the VFW.
Hi, thank you, everyone. Good to be here. We have been very busy, and I just wanted to make sure that everyone knows what we've got going on monthly. So every Thursday night, and I'm going to be reading, so if I look down and up, that's why. Every Thursday night, we have hamburgers from 5:30 to 6:30. You get hamburgers, chips, usually a cookie, sometimes there's salad, and that's $6. The community is welcome for that. Every Friday night, they have Wii bowling, and that's where you stand and hold the thing and you bowl on a screen. I haven't tried it yet, but it looks like fun. The second Saturday of every month, we have dinner and dancing starting at 6 o'clock. Tickets are $12 in advance and $15 at the door. May, we have a lot of things going on here. It's kind of like the end and the wrap up of the VFW year, and then we start again new again in July. But May 1st, we're having a waffle bar breakfast from 9 to 11 o'clock. That's $8. May 14th, we're having a salmon dinner and dancing, again $12 in advance, $15 at the door. May 21st is the Skyway Post's 75th anniversary. We are planning, there will be a social hour, there'll be a program from 5 to 6, and again, dinner and dancing. That is free, but we need to have RSVPs, mostly because of limited space, by April 13th, no, I'm sorry, by the 13th, by May 13th. So if anyone is interested in that, there's a lot of history that goes back to the VFW and how they started and did a lot of things, including parts to do with this Skyway Park, as a matter of fact. May 28th, we're having a country western dinner and dance. And on May 30th, we will be having memorial services that we will be hosting at Bonnie Watson Cemetery. That's the one that's up by the airport at 3 o'clock. It really is a very moving ceremony, if anyone would like to join us. And then in June, June is our month for conventions, state and national. So we don't do a lot, but we are having a pirate night dinner and dancing that second Saturday. And I emailed Devin Chikris. I don't know how to, because I use my phone. I have an old computer. I don't know how to link my little my form here. So she's going to uplink that for me. And then in the chat, I will put my email address if anybody has further questions about the VFW, auxiliary, you know, about what we do. And if we have veterans out there who are interested in joining the post side or the auxiliary side. So thank you very much. Good to see everyone.
Thank you, Margie. It looks like Devin was able to post in the chat here the events that are coming up.
Okay, wonderful.
So,
thanks, Devin.
yeah.
And I'll put my email up there too.
Great. Okay, I wanted to check in with Kathleen. Are you ready to share an update for Friends of Skyway Library?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Great.
I just wanted to hopefully put on a call so that everyone can let people know in the community that the Skyway Library, the Friends group, is really needing to kind of step back. It's basically, we have been doing this for 9 years. It has been a lot of fun because we're able to, it's a 501c3 nonprofit corporation that's already set up for everything. We run the ongoing book sale, which is basically donations from the community come in and people get to go through the books and put some out on the shelves, and people, it's a kind of honor system. They can purchase the books and put the money in the little slot there. And then we have held in the past the annual book sale, though of course that hasn't happened in about 2 years now. But we're just wanting to make sure that we know there's other people in the community, younger people, older people, people of color, that we really want to get a good representation of everyone for suggesting programs and helping the money that we raise provides extra programs for King County Library, specifically Skyway. And so it's always nice to be able to affect the community in this way. So we're just kind of hoping that other people would like to join us. The next library meeting is May 24th at 6:30. We're hoping to have it live in the library. We've had to do it on Zoom last few times, but everybody in the community is welcome. Fact is, you don't have to be in the community. If you like libraries and you want to help out Skyway Library, that'd be awesome.
Thank you very much, Kathleen. I feel like I just have to share my mom just took my 8-month-old son to the library this evening. So libraries are very important. Okay. Thank you for sharing that update. And if there are any questions, we will let you know. And hopefully Devin caught that date and we can add that to the calendar on our West Hill page so that other folks can know about your upcoming meeting. Okay. I wanted to check in with Carolyn Sofer from, oh goodness, I'm forgetting the church's name that you're with, but if you wanted to share an update.
Oh, not really. I wasn't prepared for that.
Oh.
I was just wanted to just come on.
Got it.
So no further comments, but I've certainly enjoyed the meeting.
Thank you. Sorry, I just wanted to check. So
that's okay.
That's great. Okay. Well, I would like to just open it up if there are any other community reports that we perhaps have missed. Now is the time. Okay. Well, I believe that concludes our April quarterly meeting. We really appreciate all of those who were able to attend on Zoom with us. One day we hope to host these in person again. And it's really heartening to hear all the work that's happening in Skyway and all the folks that are really committed to this community. So a special thanks to Devin for doing our tech, Beth for monitoring comments on Facebook, to Jeannie for putting together our agenda and reaching out to folks who would share community reports. We really appreciate all of your work in putting this together. If I've forgotten anyone, please let me know. Okay. Well, with that, we hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and we will see you for the next quarterly in the summer.
All right. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.